Well, hello folks. Today we finally get to start talking about a project that's been waiting in the behind the scenes, that's been with us for at least 3 years. This is Glenn Irvin's Pontiac 350 that is destined for his 1972 Le Mans. And I'm going to try to insert some pictures in this video if I can. As you know, I'm not an expert with the GoPro or the cameras, but Glenn brought us an engine back, I want to say it was during COVID, during 2020, 2021. And of course, everybody knows that the part shortages started hitting and things became hard to get. And he brought us a Pontiac 350 out of the Le Mans. It was the original engine. And it was pretty rough. The car came from West Texas, and it pretty much ingested a bunch of sand. The heads were not really, they probably weren't I don't know what number Pontiac heads they were, but they weren't really the desirable ones. The block, we had magnafluxed, and then when we went to go bore it, the cylinders, it was too far gone. So we reached out to my friend Larry Parks from One Man Garage. He is one of my Pontiac guru sources. Again, Larry Parks from One Man Garage here on YouTube. Larry Parks sold me this block, and he helped me with a lot of other things. But I'm not sure what year block this is, but it already has the reliefs in here for our larger heads, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But the block has now been cleaned. It has been bored 30 over. It has gone through 2 cycles of the wash system at 2 different machine shops. We have brand new cam plugs. It has been line honed. And we had the surfaces decked and cleaned up for a nice, even, smooth finish. So let me tell you about the car. This car is really cool. This is a 1972 Pontiac Le Mans. Sundance Orange. It has the T41 Endura option, which is the GTO front clip. D98 side 9-stripe decal option, white vinyl top, white bench seat, column shift interior, Rally 2 wheels with white walls. It came with a 350 cubic inch 2-barrel and a turbo 350 transmission. The Pontiac Historical Service documented. He has the factory build sheet he found under the front seat, and it was sold new in Carlsbad, New Mexico from Ross Hayden Pontiac. Now, is that cool or what? This is really cool. So, the object with this build is, this is kind of a resto mod build with this car. This car is good. This engine is going to get stroked. This engine is getting a 4-inch crank along with I believe they're Eagle rods and Ross flat top pistons. This is going to become a 383 Pontiac. The only thing we're waiting on is the crank, rods, and pistons. The pistons had a long lead time, but Butler Performance went ahead and sent me everything else that we had. Butler Performance is also my other go-to company for anything Pontiac, and they also helped me come up with a recipe for this engine. So there's the block. Again, our 4-inch crank and rods and pistons. We're waiting for everything to get to Butler. They're going to balance everything, but let's go over the build. So 4-inch stroke, we're at 383 inches, 383 cubes. With the cam and the heads that we'll talk about in a second, the desired compression ratio was somewhere around 9.8 to 1 is what I was shooting for. So we'll see what happens once we get the short block built up, see how far in the hole the pistons are, and we'll calculate with the dish and the combustion chamber size, and then we'll have a static. I always build for static and dynamic, and that's where the cam comes in. But let's start off with what we've got. The cam, if you come over here, this is a Butler spec cam from Comp. It's a roller cam. As you can see, it's got advertised durations 269, 275. duration at 50 is 218 and 224. The lobe set is 114. And our valve lift is 495 and 503, dual pattern. We have a new windage tray. And with a Pontiac, you always, here's one of the quirks on a Pontiac, is just, you always want to make sure if your old dipstick's not in good shape, call Butler. And this is for an air conditioned, there's a non-AC and an AC dipstick tube assembly. Glenn's car, I believe, has AC, or it's getting AC, so that's why it has a long dipstick. Pontiacs, as my Pontiac friends know, when you have a windage tray, the assembly is going to go through the windage tray, and it kind of goes along the back. It's kind of not a weird design, it's just different, that's all. And it works great. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, now, here's our lifters. These are our comp cam roller lifters right here. We'll get those soaked later on and put into the motor when we get to that point. So these are comp cam. What is the part number on these? Part number. No, that's the patent number. Excuse me. I'm not sure what the part number is. There it is. Part number 85701-16. So those are our lifters. Beautiful. And then now let's talk about these heads. These are Edelbrock D-port heads. We've got them covered up right now. Butler does a great job. Look at this. Butler took the heads, and you pay for the service. It's not much. And they matched our valve springs to our roller cam. And look at this. This is when you deal with professionals. This is so nice. They give you all the information on the heads, the valve springs, the valve length. Everything is set up. I am not the person that sets up heads to match a cam. I always have a competent machine shop or a place like Butler that will come in and set everything up to the cam. I don't have time to do that, but just really quick, we have an intake of 211 and exhaust of 166. Let's see here. Pretty much all your installed height for your intake and exhaust. You've got the valve spring pressure. This is just fantastic. Reminds me of my machine shop in Duncanville, Texas with Wells Racing and my good friend David Schweitzer. He was an expert like Butler and always did a great job. Coming over here, we have our, I think these are PRW or Performance Quotient stud-mounted rocker arm system. These are our rocker arms that are going to be going on to our Pontiac. They're roller rockers. They're really pretty. I have used these on FE engines. I use these same rocker arms on Cobra Jets and 390s on FEs, and they are fantastic. You really, for the money you pay for these, and they're not cheap, but they are really good. They're proven. I've had great luck with those. Moving along, there's our new timing set from Comp. This is a 211 2CPG. You can adjust we go to degree the cam in, obviously. This is a cam, it's a timing set that allows us to do that, to adjust the cam. Our original 11-bolt timing cover on this, as my Pontiac friends know, there's an 8-bolt, which is the older 389, I believe, maybe early 400s, I can't remember, but this is the later model 11-bolt timing cover, brand new from Butler. The original one is a lot of your timing covers on cars over the time goes. It was so corroded right here that there was no way you're going to get anything to seal. It was just too far gone. So we got our new timing chain cover there. Here's a piece that my friend Larry Parks from One Man Garage spotted for us on eBay about 2 years ago. And he said, hey, with your build, what you're building for this car, this would be perfect. So this is I believe came from one of the high performance small blocks for a Pontiac. It's obviously a spread bore for a quadrajet. This engine is getting a Holley Sniper quadrajet EFI system. And that is a really cool setup. He's going to be installing the Holley Sniper fuel system that's got the fuel tank for that Le Mans, the self-enclosed fuel pump, the whole 9 yards. So it's going to look all factory. And then he'll have his Holley Sniper EFI. The car is also getting, I believe, either a 700R4 or a 4L60E overdrive transmission. And of course, our oil pan that we had, it was way too far gone. The pitting and the rust were just, they were terrible. So we have a new oil pan for this car, for this engine, excuse me. So a lot of things going on. We're very excited. I have built 389s and I've built 400s. I've never built a 455 or a 421, but this is something very different and I'm very excited about. The other Pontiacs, they turned out great. They were gems, wonderful engines, and I'm really excited because this is not a common build from what I understand in the Pontiac community, but it is, I think, maybe starting to gain some steam after talking to Butler. This is going to be a really nice torque monster type small block that it's pump gas, but it's going to have a whole lot more power than obviously the original 352 barrel. It's going to be more efficient, boil the tires, and still probably get down the highway and probably get 18 miles a gallon if he's got the right gear. And I'm just really, really excited about this engine. Like I said, we're waiting for the rotating assembly because the pistons had such a long lead time. They're probably still 7 weeks out, but this is all the goodies. Glenn, if you're watching this video, I hope you're enjoying this. You got some really pretty parts here, especially these heads. This engine's going to get painted the factory light blue Pontiac, not the ceramic, the ice blue that the late 60s Pontiacs had, but this is going to get painted the factory light Pontiac blue that your early 70s Pontiac engines had. That paint is ordered. It's called Bill Hirsch because KBS did not have that color, nor did the Eastwood company with the POR 15 engine paint. We've used the Bill Hirsch engine paint on a 455 Olds that we just recently did about a year ago. It is outstanding paint. I would say out of the three of those, the Bill Hirsch it's the most expensive, but it is probably the best paint, engine paint that's out there if you really want a concourse quality job. The valve covers are in another room. They look fantastic as far as the original valve covers went. So the last thing is, I believe Glenn is going with the long Ram, I forget what Pontiac, the Ram Air 4, I believe, Pontiac exhaust manifolds. Those things are fantastic. We installed a set on a 69 Firebird, and to be honest with you, I couldn't tell the difference between the headers that we took off that I used for testing Pontiacs on the test stand and those Ram Air 4 exhaust manifolds. So that'll be kind of towards the end, I believe. We'll talk to Glenn, see how he wants to roll, but I'm pretty sure that's what he's going with. So again, beautiful cylinder heads, quality work from Butler. They always, and by the way, the whole staff at Butler is really good. I usually deal with Chuck. I don't remember his last name, but Chuck is a fantastic guy. He'll sit there and take the time and go over your whole build and what your goals are, and Chuck is fantastic. So I'm not getting any kind of sponsorship. I'm not getting any kind of plugs or money out of this. I'm just trying to share with everybody who my suppliers are for certain engine builds, and Butler is by far one of my top Pontiac engine parts provider. So we're going to get started on getting everything sorted out. Obviously, we can't do a whole lot until the rotating assembly is here. We're probably going to trial fit this roller cam to make sure that the new cam bearings are not too tight. Get that thing inserted in there. But Glenn, it's all starting to come together. I'm excited, and I know you're excited. So anyway, hope everybody has a great weekend. Thanks, everybody.